Hello and welcome to Ukraine Today. I'm Rahim Tula. In today's press review, we'll look at what the international media are saying about the general election in Turkey, which has failed to deliver a clear mandate for any one party and has dashed President Tayyip Recep Erdogan's hopes of amassing more power for himself and his AKP party. We begin with the Financial Times, which says that Erdogan now faces a tough choice. On the one hand, it says Turkish politics has become so polarized, with Mr. Erdogan attacking critics as traitors, that forming an AKP-led coalition is far from simple. But on the other hand, nor is it clear that Mr. Erdogan, who has laboured to extend his influence over state institutions and to shut down a corruption inquiry into his circle of intimates, would allow the country's fractured opposition to form a government, as advised by some senior AKP figures. So, something of a conundrum there for the Turkish leader. The New York Times, meanwhile, also focuses on Erdogan, depicting the Turkish elections, which enjoyed a turnout of 86%, as the Turkish people, quote, reasserting their commitment to democracy. Mr. Erdogan, according to the NYT, has veered sharply off the democratic path. Crushing efforts to challenge or limit his powers, he reacted with excessive force to peaceful protests in 2013 and was dogged by a corruption scandal. The paper predicts a period of uncertainty ahead as coalition talks begin, and says that even if a coalition is formed, formidable challenges remain: a stalled economy, 2 million Syrian refugees living in camps within Turkey's borders, the Islamic State just over the horizon in Syria and Iraq. The country can ill afford protracted indecision. And so to our final piece for today's programme, which comes courtesy of Andrew Finkel, writing for Reuters. He draws a parallel between Erdogan and Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying that the Turkish leader's plans have been quashed by the electorate. He says Erdogan's hopes of persuading Parliament to change the constitution and grant himself Vladimir Putin-like unchecked powers has gone up in smoke. Finkel, though, does go somewhat against the grain in putting forward the case for Erdogan and his AK party. He reminds us that the AK party still won 41% of the vote. Many rightly credit the party with putting the economy on an even path, listening to the demands for better urban services and for lifting restrictions on pious Muslims entering public life. Many were prepared to overlook evidence of massive corruption or to ignore the construction of a presidential palace 4 times larger than Versailles as a fitting home for a powerful head of state. So our pieces today largely focus on the role of Turkish President Erdogan. What will he do next? The elections have not given him what he wanted. Our commentators agree that this is a victory for democracy. But they fear that Turkey could now face a protracted period of instability, something which might have people asking if that democratic victory was really worth it. That's all we have time for today. Join us again tomorrow for another press review. In Kiev, this is Ukraine Today.